Hi, everybody. It's Adam with HeartValveSurgery.com, and this is a very special surgeon question and answer session all about robotic mitral valve repair surgery. I'm thrilled to be joined by Dr. Joanna Chikwe, who is the chair of cardiac surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, California. During her extraordinary career, Dr. Chikwe has performed thousands of cardiac procedures, of which most involved some form of valve repair or valve replacement procedure. Dr. Chikwe, thanks for being with us today.
Adam, it's great to be with you in the heart valve surgery community again.
We're going to talk all about robotic mitral valve surgery, but first, a question all about you. What is it about mitral valve surgery that is so fascinating and attractive to you?
I love mitral valve surgery, firstly, because it's transformative. It gives you the chance to restore a patient's normal life expectancy. There's almost nothing else we do in heart surgery that does that. And secondly, it's incredibly creative. No one mitral valve is the same. Everybody needs an individualized repair.
I love how you are personalizing the care for every single patient who needs mitral valve surgery. But let's back up and talk about the why someone might need that procedure. Can you help explain for all the patients in our community, what is mitral valve regurgitation? What are its symptoms, causes, and risks?
Sure thing, Adam. So everybody has 4 valves in their heart, and the job of those valves is to make sure that the blood just goes in one direction. And mitral valve regurgitation is when the second last valve in the heart leaks. And that means every time your heart beats, half the blood is going forward, but half the blood is going backwards into the wrong direction. And your heart has to do twice the amount of work to get the same job done at the end of the day. Your heart can do an amazing job of adapting to that. And initially your heart gets stronger and you might not even notice a problem. So one of the commonest ways mitral valve regurgitation is picked up is a physician might listen to your chest with a stethoscope and hear a murmur. As the disease advances and your heart stops being able to compensate so well, people feel winded when they're doing their normal activity. So you're walking upstairs, suddenly you find yourself having to stop halfway up and catch your breath. You might feel winded in bed at night and feel that you need to sit up to catch your breath or get up and walk around. That's a really important symptom. That makes us worry that you're starting to suffer from heart failure. Feeling palpitations is really common. That can be caused by atrial fibrillation. And occasionally chest tightness. And one really common symptom, and I wouldn't tell people to worry about this because we all feel this, but one of the commonest is just fatigue. I feel exhausted all the time. And it's amazing how often after mitral valve surgery, that feeling of fatigue goes away. The really important thing with mitral valve regurgitation is we're trying to prevent the long-term damage. The long-term damage is heart failure, it could be stroke, and it could be atrial fibrillation.
Dr. Chikwe, I've got to ask, is mitral regurgitation common, and is it often that it needs to be treated?
So mitral valve regurgitation is really common. It's one of the most common forms of heart valve disease. And every year in the United States, about 20,000 people will undergo procedures to correct their mitral valve regurgitation.
For those 20,000 patients who may need a procedure, what is your recommended approach for treatment?
My recommended approach is really tailored to the individual patient. If you're much older, very frail, you have a lot of other illnesses, maybe a minimally invasive approach, such as the MitraClip, is going to be the safest option. For most of the patients I see, surgery is the right option because it's the one way that we have to restore normal life expectancy by repairing your mitral valve.
Can you talk about what are the advantages of a repair or reconstructive procedure for the mitral valve compared to a replacement?
A repair keeps the natural architecture of your heart. It lasts longer than any kind of animal valve that we could put in the place of your own valve. And as opposed to a mechanical valve, you don't need to take a blood thinner. It's really the best option that we have.
Let's talk about the different approaches that surgeons can use to access the mitral valve during repair. I've heard of sternotomies, mini sternotomies, robot assisted, and minimally invasive port access. What is your preferred approach to repairing a mitral valve?
The best approach for any patient having mitral valve repair is one that doesn't compromise on safety or the quality of the mitral valve repair. That's front and central. The approach that works best for most of the patients that come to see me is the robotic mitral valve repair. That allows us to do the surgery through a small incision, not much bigger than the short arm of a credit card, between the ribs, and that allows people to go home within about 3 or 4 days and get back to normal. People worry about pain, and I tell patients, if you're having a standard stenotomy approach, the pain will be not as bad as you're worried about. And for patients that are having the incision through the side, our goal is pain-free. And for most patients, we use an injection of local anesthetic that's a little bit like an epidural to ensure that they're pain-free from day one of surgery.
From your perspective, what are the top 3 advantages or reasons you use a robot-assisted approach?
So the reasons that I love using robots are, number one, the incredible precision that this 3-dimensional image of the heart gives you. It's really difficult to explain that to a surgeon that hasn't seen that. It's game-changing for mitral valve surgery. The second reason I like to use the robot is it completely facilitates this super precise surgery through tiny incisions. And the third reason I like to use it is because the whole team can see real time what you're doing. And that makes it a great educational tool, not just for your team, but for other surgeons.
Dr. Chikwe, have you always used the robot in your practice, or has that changed over the years?
I've always been focused on performing the best quality mitral valve repair, ideally minimally invasively. But it wasn't until I came to Cedars that I got the opportunity to use the robot with one of the most experienced teams in the country, and that's been completely transformational. So now I would perform about 95% of my mitral valve repairs robotically.
Dr. Chikwe, I'm sure the patients out there are wondering, how do you do a robotic assisted mitral valve repair surgery?
When you're in the operating room, there'll be 8 people there with you, 2 anesthesia team members, 2 perfusionists, they run the heart-lung machine, 2 nurses, 1 is scrubbed and 1 is circulating, and 2 surgeons. And for the robotic cases, we use 2 attending surgeons routinely. One of us is at the bedside doing the assistant function, and one of us is sitting at the robotic console, performing the mitral valve repair.
It's great to hear how you and your team there at Cedars are really taking this idea of heart surgery as a team sport and implementing that to the benefit of your patients. I've got to ask you, are there any myths about robotic mitral valve surgery that you might want to address for the patients?
The number one myth about robotic mitral valve surgery is that it isn't open heart surgery. It is. We are going on a heart-lung machine. We are stopping your heart. We're going to open it and repair your mitral valve. It's really safe. It is open heart surgery.
Dr. Chikwe, can you talk about the outcomes of your robot-assisted mitral valve repair procedures?
The team at Cedars-Sinai is incredibly experienced with robotic mitral valve repair. We've recently published our outcomes of over 1,000 robotic mitral valve repairs, and we've achieved repair rates that are over 99%. The rate of major complications is less than 0.5%, and the durability of the repairs is equivalent to those done in any other major series.
Congratulations to you and the entire team there at Cedars for those incredible outcomes for your patients. Got to ask you a big question all about what comes next for robotics and heart valve surgery. Can you share with our patients any ideas about where this is going?
At Cedars, we're super excited about expanding the robotic platform to other cardiac surgery. So not just mitral valve repair, but mitral valve replacement, aortic valve replacement, and coronary artery bypass. We already do atrial fibrillation surgery at the time of robotic mitral valve repair, and it seems obvious that that's a great platform for doing standalone atrial fibrillation surgery robotically as well.
Dr. Chikwe, it's great to hear about all the success you've had using the robot and all the potential applications of that platform for additional valve disorders and cardiac disease. So on behalf of our entire community, thanks so much for taking time away from your very busy practice there at Cedars-Sinai in Los Angeles to help educate us all about robotic mitral valve surgery. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much, Adam. It is always a pleasure.
Yeah, take care, Dr. Chikwe.
Bye.